is Asinine Radio. This is the weekly music podcast where every week we get into a different band, different artist. We break down one of their records. We get into the music, the lyrics, how it was made, and everything in between. My name is Tyler, and way out there, hundreds of miles away, is Jeff. While you're listening, go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, give us 5 stars. If you're watching on YouTube, smash that subscribe button. And that's all I have for the Born intro. Let's get into it. What are we doing this week, Jeff? Go.
We're doing Kiss's Kiss.
Kiss's Kiss. So
Kiss
yeah, the
Kiss.
first record, 1974, self-titled. I don't know. Let's get into our origin story with Kiss. We'll get into our first impressions of this record, and then just get into our bangers, stinkers, and everything else. So what do you got? Origin story. Go.
Good. My origin story is probably just Rock and Roll All Night. I know my mom had a CD, and it was like a greatest hits, and it was red, and it was translucent. And like I think the opener was the live version of Rock and Roll All Night. And that was the only version I've ever heard. Even like on the radio, they always play the live version of Rock and Roll All Night.
Mm-hmm.
But that's like my origin story. I never listened to any other Kiss outside of that one song. And even that one song, like it's still a fucking banger, but like I'm not going to go out of my way to listen to it or put it on. So I don't know. I just don't really care that much.
Okay. That's quite the origin story.
That's it.
Yeah, I mean, my origin story is also that song, Rock and Roll All Night. Everybody, I think, growing up, everybody knew that song. It was played on so many TV shows, movies, on MTV. Everybody knew who Kiss was. Like, even if you didn't know their music, you know who they were, just by the way they looked, their makeup, stage presence, all of that. And then, it was that. It was Shouted Out Loud, which until this week I didn't even realize was a Kiss song. But I mean, I remember hearing that song a ton. And then as I got into like my teens, I knew Lick It Up. I knew I Was Made for Loving You, because I hated those songs in high school. I really hated those songs. But
There's
I knew
no
because
way. You were
everybody
trying hard in high school. There's no way anybody could hate I Was Made for Loving You.
I never tried hard. I never tried hard. I was always myself. I was always cool.
Stop trying hard. What you mean to say?
So yeah, and I remember also back then when I used to watch MTV and VH1 a lot, they would always make fun of that era of Kiss, and like the Lick It Up video was always made fun of how stupid and cheesy it was, because it is.
It's terrible.
That's really my origin story, and I didn't listen to any full Kiss record until this week, or the last 2 weeks. So, I mean, I've listened to Kiss Alive. I have that live record on vinyl, but any of their actual studio records, it wasn't until the last 2 weeks that I listened to anything from them. And that's my origin story. So, and I think you're the same too, right? It wasn't until these 2 weeks that you listened to any of their records.
Yeah, except for Alive.
Yeah. So let's get into our first impressions of Kiss's Kiss, kind of why that is our favorite record, if we even have a real good reason. And then we'll get into bangers and stinkers. What else you got? Or what do you got?
I do think it's their best record, yes. There's a guy that comes to our record store. I don't want to say his name, but he has a very generic name. Cool guy. But he likes the Beatles and Kiss a lot. Like, those are the two things he collects, and he spends a lot of fucking money. If we get something that really rare, he'll buy it. And I asked him one time, like, do you really like Kiss? He's like, not really. It's just because he's old. He's probably like 60, if that. But he's like, not really. It's just, it's nostalgia. I grew up listening to him. I grew up like watching them. My parents liked him. Like, I really don't care for him that much. Like, I just want to kind of have it. So, okay, I get that. Like, you're spending your disposable income on something that, like, is frivolous and stupid. That's what disposable income is for. So I get that. And I think that's why Kiss have lasted throughout the years. And I think people who are, like, probably, let's call him Malcolm, because that's, like, the easiest.
Okay.
That's a generic name. That could be anybody. But they like Kiss, and because that demographic likes shitty 80s music and therefore likes shitty 80s Kiss. And so there's another like generation of people that are now on that bandwagon, right? You get your 70s and your 80s, and that makes sense. But at some point, like, the Kiss train is going to be obsolete once, like, we'll call the other guy Jim, because that's a generic name. We'll call him Jim and Malcolm. Once they are too old to go to shows, or are too old to, or I guess phase out or age out of buying like dumb ass fucking albums and merch and things like that, then Kiss is going to cease to exist. But I understand what like Kiss did for the touring world, the touring circuit, and what they did for other bands. And there's a lot of things to like about Kiss. there's just so much more to hate.
I think also with Kiss, I mean, the music is secondary. It honestly is, and
They knew that. They knew that.
They knew it. Yeah, I mean, none of them have ever come out and said, you know, I'm a great guitar player. You know, this is why, these are my influence. Like nobody ever, like, for as big of an ego as they all have, none of them ever claim to be great at what they do, which is cool. It's nice, but
it's cool they didn't lie. Yes,
it's cool they didn't lie. My first impressions on this, yeah, in the end, the music is fine. It's decent rock and roll. It's good rock. It's good rock and roll. There's nothing bad about it. There's nothing bad about any of these songs on the record. There are some outliers that made my best of Kiss playlist, which has 24 songs, I believe. So if you want that, let me know. I'll send you the link to the playlist.
Nobody wants that.
No, some might. You never know. But yeah, I mean that's kind of my first impression. I think they're good rock and roll songs, but their look, their brand is way bigger than the actual music. I would almost compare them to Sex Pistols. Like that whole punk brand is way bigger than the actual Sex Pistols songs. Everybody knows their look more than they know their music. Easily, hands down.
Yeah.
Except Kiss is like to the fucking extreme because their music was their look was so outrageous in 1973 and 1974.
Yes.
But yeah, there was some other shit I wanted to say, but now
did you watch that little video I sent you of
Gene?
Can't remember her name. Gene on that talk
Toady,
show.
Or Toady Rosie
Tottenham
or something.
Hotspur or something like that. Whatever her fucking name was. Yeah, that little like piece like summed up Kiss's entire career. Because he comes out and it's like shock value. Everyone's shocked by it, and like Toadie's just shaking her head like, this is fucking stupid, dude. This is so dumb. And then Gene's sitting there like, yeah, you have a lot of like tasty looking audience members. I want to eat them up. And she's like, what the fuck are you doing? Like underneath all that, you're probably just some Jewish boy. It's like, damn, like
some good Jewish boy that your mom loves or something like that.
Yeah, and like she called him out, and like that's exactly what he is. It's just some fucking Jewish kid. Like that's just some plain old people, right? There's nothing extravagant about it. But you put on this like makeup and stuff, and now you're just fucking annoying as fuck. And you just play loud music, and that's what it was: makeup and loud music. And goddamn,
yeah,
they did it well. They did it well.
That interview you're referring to, I don't remember the guy's. It was some talk show back in the 70s. And it was like 1974, shortly after this record came out. And Kiss actually performed on that show. But yeah, it was the interview just before the performance. And Gene came out by himself with the costume, the makeup, the platform fucking shoes, acting like a demon. It was so over the top. And so, I mean, at the time, I get it was very like,
nobody else was doing this.
Nobody else was doing it. It was so out of the ordinary. And I get it. And he was playing on the goofiness of it. But he probably, in the end, Gene probably thought he was really fucking cool doing it. But he played into it, and he played into it well. But yeah, I did like how she called him out immediately. And then what did she say? She said, fuck, it was something about the hook nose or something like that. It was like something so Jewish and something so like, oh man, I can't even remember the actual quote.
She was very like, because she was older than Gene was, she was very disarming with her insults.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was insulting, but it was like, oh, because she's like old and kind of like a motherly figure, it's kind of disarming. Like, oh man, he got me. Okay. Like
even after, oh, she's like, oh, and she says something like, you can't fool me with that makeup. I know a hook nose when I see it, or something like that. And when after she said it, like Gene wasn't mad. He was like grinning, like he's like, hell yeah. He was like, she caught me. Like he respected her,
like a little kid.
It was like he respected her. And then apparently I read too, like he was actually friends with her after that until she died. Like he was close with her until she died because like he really respected her and all that kind of stuff. And Gene Simmons is an interesting guy. Like there are moments where it's like, damn, dude, you're such a douchebag. You're an asshole.
Yeah.
But then there are some moments where like it's cool to be that honest. Like he just at some points it's just like he doesn't even give a fuck. And that's kind of what I like about him. But he's so polarizing to me. Like no other guy in the band.
I don't get it either.
But he's so polarizing.
Because there are some times where I think like Gene will do whatever it takes to protect the brand.
Yeah.
But then I think like claiming that he invented like the devil horns and calling Ronnie James Dio after he just died like a hack and shit like that. And like, bro, like that is not like protecting your brand. Like that's just crazy talk. That's silly. And like the feud with Axl Rose and shit, and it's just like, dude, like what are you doing, bro? Like, I don't know. I agree. Gene is wild.
The only thing you could say, I mean, not the only thing, but one thing you could say about Gene and Kiss is that even when they were at their lowest moment, they were never low. They were still selling out giant fucking venues. They were still selling a decent amount of records. Like, I think almost every single one of their records, outside of the last two back in 2009 and 2012, I think almost every single one of those records at least hit gold status here in the U.S., where they sold over 500,000 copies. And that's big. Honestly, like for bands that have come and gone through the 70s, 80s, and 90s, who had maybe like one big hit record, they weren't consistent after that. They didn't sell 20,000 seat venues or 10,000 seat venues. Like at least Kiss was fairly consistent through their whole career.
Because their shows kicked ass.
Yeah.
Their shows were fucking good. They like they're like two bands in modern history have like reinvented like the live show format. The Grateful Dead and Kiss. Like those two bands have just like took what we thought could have been a live show and just made it fucking even better. And the Kiss did that thing. And if you're going to listen to shitty music, at least entertain me. Are you not entertained? You know, like at least put on a good show. And the fact that they were like spitting fire out of his mouth before their first record and catching his hair on fire before their first record, like that's crazy talk. Before you had a road crew that would come out and put it out. And there was that like thing like fuck, it was like 10 years ago when Gene Simmons' hair caught on fire. Didn't even fucking move a muscle. It's like on fucking fire, dude. Like Homer Simpson on fire. Yeah. And he's just playing. And at some point he looks over like, are you gonna put this out, bro? And like, oh yeah, I'll come out. And the guy comes out and like sprays it with the fire extinguisher and then goes back. Doesn't miss a fucking beat, dude. Like, like Gene Simmons would die for Kiss. Like I truly believe he would burn alive for Kiss. And that's dedication.
You hear Tammy yelling? Yeah, the dog's shitting in the hallway right now. The puppy, George.
Georgie boy?
Georgie boy is shitting in the hallway.
These are small little poops. Just like
no, they're big. No, they're massive. They're fucking big shits. It's crazy.
I mean, you have two little dogs, so I question how your concept of like big dog
considering
poops.
How small they are. Rupert's 15 pounds. George is 7 pounds. And their shits are fucking giant. They're giant.
What are we comparing them to, though? Like humans? Like other dogs?
Well, I mean, comparatively to their size, the dog's size.
You're only ever around small dogs. Like Donald was a tiny little fucking butt muncher.
He was, but his shits were small compared to these fuckers.
Because he's all fluff.
Yeah, Tony was all fluff. Anyway, we're not talking about dogs. We're talking about Kiss right here, baby. What were you saying?
Kiss right here, baby.
What were you saying? I don't even remember what you were saying.
Dude. I don't know. Just about their live shows and the hair catching on fire.
Right,
and it is really cool to see like live performances. And honestly, dude, like no one had really done something this extravagant as far as like the shock culture. And like it dates back like decades before Kiss had done it. And like Alice Cooper was kind of like the godfather of it all with the makeup and stuff, but like nothing like what Kiss did.
Nothing like Kiss. Yeah.
Nothing like what Kiss did. And it wasn't just like the band, but it was like the pyrotechnics and it was like the stage crew. And they were like the first people to like hire a crew of people to have like, not just like a guy that did fireworks and pyrotechnics, but a guy that built a stage. Like, hey, we're going to hire 2 dudes and your only job is to create like things on a stage and then take it down right afterwards. Like we're talking like Super Bowl halftime performances in like the mid 70s for a band that like, who the fuck are you? Mm-hmm. Right? Like that's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. And kind of going into the background of this record and the early days of the band. So they recorded this record, Kiss is Kiss, and Casablanca Records was the label that they were under. They were a small independent label, but they were kind of like a subsidiary of Warner Brothers Records. Or not a subsidiary, but they were owned by their distribution was through Warner Brothers, I believe. And they recorded the record, everything was done with it. Kiss went out to the West Coast to go do a record release show here in LA in Beverly Hills. And it was like a record release show. All the Warner Brothers executives were there. They came with the full makeup, the whole fucking show. And one of the executives said, absolutely not.
He said,
this record,
fuck no.
This record's not coming out unless you take the makeup off and stop this. And the band, what was I forgot the guy's name, the guy who owns Casablanca Record, and their manager said, absolutely not. That everything stays. Warner Brothers immediately dropped Casablanca Records from their roster, and then they put it out. The record wasn't too successful. And like we mentioned in the rankings episode, it wasn't until Kiss Alive, which came out after their third record, which was only like not even 2 years after this record came out, that the band actually blew up. And the Casablanca Records just kind of blew up as well after being on the verge of bankruptcy. But yeah, I mean, the background to this record was like these guys had no fucking money. They had kind of no idea what they were doing. Prior to this record, Paul and Gene, they were in a band called Wicked Lester. They were signed to, was it Epic Records or something like that, I believe? And
I think they had a contract, but they didn't put anything out yet.
But they recorded a whole record. Wicked Lester recorded a whole record, but it was shelved by, I think it was Epic. It was shelved. It was Epic. Yeah. And then Paul and Gene wanted to fire the other guys in the band because they didn't think they were adequate enough. Egos, baby, already. Not even a record out of it. Their egos were there. They wanted to fire the guys, and the guy said, fuck you. So then Paul and Gene quit Wicked Lester. The fucking record has remained on the shelf since the 1970s. It's come out as like bootlegs and shit like that. But yeah, then they formed Kiss after it. It is on, yeah, you're right. It is on Spotify. But it's not, I don't even think then it's like an official release. I think it's like kind of a half-ass thing. But
did you listen to it?
I did not.
Hey,
I mean,
you're not missing anything.
After 24 Kiss records, I mean, I don't care.
It's better than 22 Kiss records, but it's fine.
It's meh, yeah.
It's fine.
So that's kind of also the background with Kiss is Kiss. I don't know, man. I think it was a time and place. Honestly, it was a time and place for this band and this record. You hear a lot of people even nowadays, like the drummer from Korn, like Ray Luzier says that his favorite band of all time was Kiss because he grew up with like Kiss and Rush were like the bands that he grew up with when he was like 9 years old, and he learned all the Kiss records and he saw Kiss dozens and dozens of times. But it's because like he grew up with it. Like if you don't grow up with Kiss, like if you don't start as a young kid, it's just not gonna be your thing. It's not a band you're gonna get into as an adult. They're not that kind of band. They're a good entry band. They're a good gateway band, and that's not a disrespect for them because I mean, they're just a good band for that. They're a good band into harder rock, blues rock. You know, your Ted Nugents. Like I hear a lot of Ted Nugent on this record.
I hear a lot of Amboy Dukes on this fucking record.
Well, yeah, okay,
especially
same
the instrumental. Like that's
same thing. Yeah. Amboy Dukes, Ted Nugent,
but specifically that psychedelic era. Like it's
but
there.
Clearly, Ace and Paul Stanley don't have the chops of Ted Nugent. Like Ted Nugent is so fucking good.
It's not even like you don't have, because I don't think Vinnie Vincent is anything to write home about, but you apparently love him so much. Like it's not just about being like a great guitarist, like Yngwie Malmsteen, right? It's about like what can you do with that? Like just because, yeah, I get it. Just because you can do everything fast or perfect and technical, but let's hear you write your own stuff. And like, oh shit, that sucks. That means you fucking suck. Except just be a flashy ass fucktard. I don't care. And so like there is.
What did you say?
A flashy ass fucktard.
Oh my god.
Flashy ass fucktard. FAFT. A faft.
A faft, yes.
Don't be a faft. Yngwie Malmsteen was a faft. I think Vinnie Vincent is a faft. I think a lot of that's what makes Slash so cool and interesting. Is Slash makes you think that he's being sloppy, but everything he does is like it's intentional.
Yeah.
But it sounds like he's being sloppy, and a lot of times when he plays, it's like, damn, that's fucking sloppy, but it's not. It's him being calculated. Whereas like Ace is pretty sloppy at times. And
it's extremely sloppy.
It's endearing, it's fun or whatever, but like that's the difference between like a Vinny and like a Slash, and that's why Slash is fucking Slash, and Vinny's just another 80s fucking guitarist that's really, really good. But like, who gives a fuck if he's really, really good? Like, I don't care. I don't fuck.
No, I get it. I don't give
a fuck.
It just, in the end, Kiss are a gateway band. I mean, it's just so many people as kids and young teens were influenced by Kiss and Ace, and just the whole getup, the whole personality of the band. They were influenced by him, and the marketing, all that shit fucking worked for the band, and good on them. Like I'm not throwing any shade at the band for doing for going about their career the way they did, because I think it's fucking fantastic, and they knew how to make money, they knew how to merchandise. Fucking love that shit. It's great for them, but
it's like when your band sucks and you know you fucking suck, and you're like, damn, there's no way we can make it. Especially when like Van Halen drops in like the late 70s, you're like, all right, well, we're done.
We're done.
Like, what else can we do?
How can we get even close to
like
Van Halen's
fuck
Van Halen?
off, dude. So like, what do? You double down on the brand, right? Like you say, okay, fuck it, let's lean into this hard. Let's sell more toys. Let's sell more T-shirts. Let's sell platform shoes to girls, and let's sell fucking like a for your hair to boys, and everybody makes a little bit of money, and everybody buys something. What do you call that shit? Hairspray.
Hairspray?
Yeah. A little chingadere. Hairspray.
Yeah.
So I get it. I don't not Kiss for really anything, because I mean, like Rivers Cuomo, like one of his favorite, if not his favorite band, is also Kiss.
Yeah.
And it's like Weezer's my favorite band of all time. So it's kind of one of those things where it's like, even though Jimi Hendrix isn't your favorite guitarist, he's your favorite guitarist. So Kiss serves a purpose. They have a place in time. Their music is of its time. It's nostalgic, but dude, this shit sucks. Even like Kiss is self-titled. This is not a great record.
No.
And I thought this would be a lot better. I thought this would be way more kind of like garage rocky, just fucking like
or
DIY,
even like
just
psychedelic. Like I was thinking, I was honestly expecting more psych rock, but it's just like, damn, man, they didn't do anything super well on this record. Everything was just good. Everything was just good. Nothing bad. No stinkers. Because I have no stinkers on this record.
No,
I don't think you. Yeah, there's nothing bad on this record, but there's standouts. Some bangers within the record. I have 5. I don't know how many you have, but
for bangers,
yeah,
I have 4.
All right, that's okay. We're close, but let's dive into some bangers here. I'm sure we'll talk about more about the band and the era of music, but what's your number one banger on here?
Before we do this,
all right, so do you have any bangers? Do you have any bangers off of this one?
4 bangers.
4 bangers. Okay, that's right. You have 4 bangers. What's your number one banger? What is your number one banger off this record?
Slow down there, buddy boy. Strutter. Strutter's my number one banger.
Okay, opener, right?
The opener.
The opening song.
That is.
That did not make my banger list, but let's get into it.
That's stupid. It's like one of their best songs they've ever written. Like, are you crazy?
Oh, it's not.
That's funny. Okay. Yeah, here we go with the try hard again.
Oh my god,
this is cool.
Exhausting.
This is
exhausting already.
This is like the most reminiscent of that like 60s era garage rock sound here. Like, this is what I wanted this entire record to be. I wanted it to be like Strutter mixed with the instrumental track. I wanted to hear like fucking, I don't even know, like that Question Mark band. I wanted to hear 13 Floor Elevators. I wanted to hear cool garage rock, but like a little bit heavier, a little more aggressive, mixed with like MC5. But this is the only time we got it.
I mean, in the end, most of this record it's Rolling Stones with a little bit of AC/DC. That's what this fucking record is. Especially Rolling Stones. I hear so much Rolling Stones.
There
I hear
is Rolling
Mick Jagger.
Stones here. There is Rolling Stones here, but no.
Come on, man. That main riff is 100% Rolling Stones.
I know, but like that's not the Rolling Stones are just playing blues music, and Keith Richards is just, he's a shitty guitar player, so he's like, how can I tune me guitar to fucking play fucking anything I want, and that's just what he did. But like the heart of what this record is supposed to be and is trying to be is more in line of like the Seeds, just like straight up like psychedelic garage rock from the 60s, even like Velvet Underground, the Trogs, like cool stuff like that. That's what this record is trying to be, even though it comes off kind of Rolling Stonesy, but it's definitely not. It's not. I do like some Stone stuff for sure, and we did an episode on it, and I fucking love the Stones, but it's definitely not as dumb as the Stones is. This record is smarter than a lot of the Stones.
Really? You think so?
Yeah, for sure.
I think maybe at moments it's a little bit heavier than the Stones, but I mean, this is also several years after the Stones kind of hit it big in the mid to late 60s. I don't know. I hear so much of those guitar those guitar riffs, and also the way that Paul kind of tries to sing like Mick Jagger. I hear it as well in this record, on this record, especially this song. The guitar solo though, fucking killer guitar solo. And I'm not a big fan of Ace Frehley. I think he's a sloppy guitar player, like I mentioned earlier. But this one was solid. This is a solid solo on this one.
It's cool because you get the heavy note chug, right? And then you get the solo in the back. And if that's fucking rock and roll. And that's stuff like the Stones could never do because nobody in the Stones was a great guitar player. Just Keith Richards is like arguably the greatest riff guitar player. But like that's it. They were never great. And like the Stones spent half their fucking career just chasing American music and playing blues rock, and like it's fine and boring. But like right now is when the Stones hit that stride of like Beggar's Banquet and fucking Exile and Let It Bleed in like the early 70s. And like that's the best era of the Stones. I don't think Kiss is trying to be Stones, even though I think anybody just playing kind of dumbed down blues rock is going to sound like the Stones because the Stones did it fucking like 15 records. And so therefore we all just think like,
so many records in the 60s.
God damn. They did like, and then it was like American version and the UK version. Like there was like one song difference and it was like, oh my God.
I mean,
annoying.
We did the Stones back in 2020 and I remember we only did the Stones. I think we did 60s and 70s Stones. So we only listened to those records. We didn't dive into the 80s, 90s or 80s through now. Their records. We only did the 60s and 70s records. And even then, I think it was like 16 records we had to listen to. And most of them were in the 60s.
But don't forget, that was the time when I listened to everything.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
that was the only time where like we didn't agree and you were like, I'm not doing this anymore. I was like, I'm going to keep going.
That's right.
And I did everything.
You did that with Stones. You did that with Deep Purple. You did it with Queen as well. Oh, yeah. I was just like, I can't, like, I don't want to get past, and you did it with Bob Dylan. And I said, I can't get past a certain decade, a certain era. And we just didn't do it. I didn't do it. You did it, but I didn't. But, what Stones did we do? We did Majesty Secret Service?
Yeah, we did Majesty Secret Service, which is the last.
The James Bond movie.
No, second to last one they did in the 60s.
Okay, yeah.
Whatever.
Satanic something.
The Satanic Majesty's Request it was the one right before their big three, right? The Let It Bleed, Sticky Fingers, and Exile on Main Street.
Yeah. That was what we did. But that was almost 5 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago now.
But I don't think, and like this just comes from a place where like a lot of this like 60s era garage rock, psych rock is fucking expensive on the vinyls. And so when we get it in, I listen to it and I'm like, oh damn, like this is fucking generic and I don't get it. But okay, like 13 floor elevators, like that shit goes for big money.
Mm-hmm.
And that first record is fucking fine, dude. It's just generic stuff. It's generic at best.
It's good, but it's still good.
But there's better stuff out there.
Other bands have done it better.
The Kinks were fucking better in the 60s. Like Love was better in the 60s. And I think this is what this Kiss record is trying to be. I think that's what Kiss started to be, was like garage rock from the 60s mixed with like a little bit of like psychedelia. I don't think they were trying to be a blues rock band. Like the Stones just wanted to be American blues and then found their footing later on. But I don't know. I think Strutter is what Kiss like intended to be.
Okay. I mean, it is the opener too, so I guess that does make sense. And it has the most hits on Spotify. It has the most hits out of all the songs on Spotify. It has 95 million
for just
plays.
Oh, okay.
Just that song. Just that song.
Just his record, though. Not over. I Was Made for Loving You.
I mean, no. Out of the 10 songs on this record, this has the most plays at 95 million.
But it's not their most played song.
No.
Not by a long shot.
Actually, I'm curious now. Let's see on Spotify.
There's no way this has more fucking plays than I Was Made for Loving You or Rock and Roll.
No, I mean, no, there's not.
Or Detroit Rock City.
Damn, yeah, I Was Made for Loving You has 1,176,000,000.
Yes.
And then Rock and Roll All Night has 536 million. So, damn, that's a big difference. That's over double what Rock and Roll has. Wow. Well, I Was Made for Loving You is double what Rock and Roll is.
I mean, deserves it.
That's shocking. I'm very surprised by that. Double.
That's a little surprising. It's kind of pathetic. It is kind of pathetic.
It really is. Damn. Okay. Yeah. Sorry. Continue. Do we?
No, that's
Strutter.
Nah, we can get out of here.
Also, I just want to overall I want to touch upon the lyrics. The lyrics are terrible on this record. It's very much about chase and tail. What does it say? Dazed and Confused, like chasing the muff around.
Yeah.
That kind of shit. That's what this album is. And they're very superficial, which is fine. It's of its time. These guys aren't trying to make complicated music or deep music. That's okay.
That's okay.
No disrespect. But lyrics. It's about a hot girl. She gets what she wants, and guys fall head over heels for her. There you go. Strutter. Yeah. She's a strutter, baby. She is a strutter, baby. So that's your 1B. My 1B is Deuce.
Deuce.
Throwing those deuces.
Throwing them deuces. It's not even a beat for me. What are you even doing over here? So this is a Gene Simmons song. It was recorded, or it was written by him prior to Kiss being formed during the Wicked Lester days. I don't know. It's just an upbeat song, especially with that drum beat. A really solid riff. The stop and go parts are really cool. Like you don't really hear Kiss do that kind of stop and go thing, which is cool. Leads and solo, the guitar leads and solo are solid as well. I just like it because it's faster. It's not as like groove based music is cool. Like in Strutter, I get it, but sometimes you just want some excitement, and that's what Deuce is. Deuce is a little bit more excitement. And Peter Criss, he starts with like the just like the double hits on the hi-hats, and just drops into that kind of like really kind of driving beat. Solid. This is your 1B though?
This is my 1B.
Like, okay.
Made my playlist.
This is just like it's very garage rock sounding, and that's
very
cool.
Alice Cooper
and I like
too.
it. But
Very
like,
Alice
dude,
Cooper.
this is like generic early Kiss. It's,
that's
it's
fine.
fun. It's fun, but like there's nothing substantial here. Like the best part is the solo because like the loud rhythm is underneath it, and like it leads up to like a wild last part of the song.
Mm-hmm.
But otherwise, like the song's fine, dude. It's meh.
Okay, that's fine. I in the end, none of these songs are spectacular, but I mean, it's just right now. This is the best song on the record.
I guess if I had to like even go back and just be like really objective and honest, Strutter and Love Theme from Kiss are the two only actual bangers. I give 2 passes to 2 other songs, but really those are the only 2 songs I think like, dude, those are fucking good songs.
What was the other song? So I assume it's your 2B.
Love Theme from Kiss.
Love Theme from Kiss. Yeah, the instrumental.
And that's just because it sounds like fucking Amboy Dukes, and that's exactly what I want.
Yes, exactly. So fucking let's get past Deuce. Who cares? Let's get Love Theme from Kiss. This is it's the instrumental. I think it's like 2.5-3 minutes long, and it's very much.
Is this
Amboy
a B
Dukes.
for you?
Yeah, it's my 4B. Wait, it's my 4B. Yeah, 4B.
I can't wait to hear what other horrible songs you like.
I think you just also really like this because it's an instrumental.
Yes.
And you were just so tired of Gene and Paul singing, so
because they're just like, I mean. I don't know what we were supposed to do on this episode because we just did it with Stained and how horrible that band was and how much people like them. But this is on a different level of like people like Stained, people die for Kiss, right? Like we're comparing apples to fucking bazookas. Like Kiss is so much on a higher plane than Stained could ever be.
True.
But Kiss is bad. Like they're not good.
I think I would never call Kiss bad. I would say that
called them bad.
They're good and okay at times. Like once again,
they're
don't
okay
none of them
at times. You just said the Elder Scrolls is the worst album you've ever heard in your fucking life.
Overall,
okay at times.
Overall, okay. Let me take a couple steps back here. Overall, they're good to okay at times. You're right. I mean, Elder, not fucking Elder. The Elder? Music from the Elder. Music from the Elder, one of the worst records ever made by any band. But I think overall, as a band, as over the career, I think they're good to okay, good at best, but then they average out at okay,
and
that's
sometimes
Kiss.
Terrible,
and then sometimes atrocious, terrible, horrendous. Every which way you could describe this band in a negative way.
But people still idolize them, and people still give them passes.
Because they got their gogs on. They got their Kiss gogs on.
And I see some of them I'm looking
Remember
at
this?
you, Pitchfork.
Remember
I see
this?
some of your. You can't even
this?
do that. You don't know how to do that. Don't even do that. You have no idea how to do that. And I still see Pitchfork writing
You're
good
the
reviews
worst.
on some of their later records. Like, oh, this is the fucking return to form of Kiss that we really wanted. I'm like, no, like I didn't want them to begin with. Like, yeah, I don't. This record is. This band is stupid. This record that we're doing is stupid.
Yes.
I
Yes.
don't know. And I looked up like how much the like because I thought like if I'm going to get this record, I would like the OG promo of it, like the most collectible copy, and it's like fucking $800. And
Oh my God.
but even if like it came to the store and like I could have just taken it home, like I wouldn't.
I wouldn't either. Yeah.
I guess that's going into the wrap up. We're not there yet.
No, not quite yet. All right, so let's move on from Left Theme from Kiss. Man, we're actually flying through this. Surprise,
Because I'm dumb
surprise,
and I
right?
don't care. And we talked about a lot. We talked about a lot of extra currics on the rankings too, which is
That's
fine.
true too. Yeah. My number 2 then is 100,000 Years.
Good.
100,000 Years. What does this
That's my last B. That's my 4B.
4B? Okay, that bass line, fucking killer.
Yeah.
Great, cool blues guitar parts. Cool shift change in the whole overall style when the bridge hits, and that solo is really fucking sick.
Yes.
I really, really like
it's
that.
It's wild. It's very. It is. It's just cool. It's very cool.
Yeah.
And I like the sequencing coming off of the Amboy Duke song "Love Theme" from Kiss, because it just kicks right back into like the Kiss rock sound, as opposed to like Deuce. If you put Deuce after Love Theme, it would be kind of sluggish and slow. So you put 100,000 light years, dude. And they
100,000
also
years.
covered at some point. They cover that fucking Rolling Stone song, 2,000 light years. 2000. Yeah,
They might have. I don't think that was on any of their records, was it?
I don't know. I'm gonna fucking look it up real quick. I'll leave this on.
Well, either way, 100,000 Years. Yeah, this is just a really good rock song. Good, not rock and roll song, but I don't want to say metal, but I don't even know how to describe the song. There's some good palm mutes thrown in from Ace and Paul. Like it's just very raw. I don't even know how to. I really can't even describe the song. Not to say that it's unique or great in any way, but it's exciting. I'm just excited because it's one of the better songs on the record.
It's fun. I like it because I think Paul Stanley's just a more interesting singer, and I like his stuffs more. And for sure, I think Gene is just so fucking boring in every way, shape, or form. But I don't think Kiss would have succeeded without Gene Simmons.
Mm-hmm.
So I just think Paul Stanley's interesting, and I don't know, this whole like literally the concept of Paul Stanley coming up with this tale and concept about like interstellar space travel. Like, fuck, you bloody fucking wanker. Like, get out of here, dude. Just writing a bunch of cool shit that sounds fucking dope and retconning something else later on.
And I mean, I will say some more positive things about Gene. Like, I think he's a decent bass player. Like, he does come up with some cool lines, some cool parts in some of the, not just on this record, but on some other records too. Like, he's a pretty decent bass player. Like, you would think, like, because of his persona and how all of that, like, that he would just be like an evil Jared from Bloodhound Gang, where it's all character and no substance. You know, Gene actually does have substance. Like, he has not only songwriting credits, but he's a pretty decent bass player. Not great, but he's still fucking good.
I would agree. I think
Yeah.
he plays to the song, and it's so easy for him to just do nothing or do too much. But he plays to the song, and he's never an asshole on the bass. He's an asshole in person sometimes, and his persona is an asshole, but he's never an asshole on the bass. He never takes anybody's spotlight. He never adds riffs to when someone else is doing something that, like, it's their time to shine. He never overshadows anybody, and he never really adds unnecessary notes in their better records.
Yeah. And even like the more bass driven songs, there's some cool shit there. But yeah, once again, when he needs to step back and let Ace or whatever guitar player is in the band at the time, he's able to step back during that bridge, during that chorus or whatever it is, and then drop back down into that cool riff that he was playing in the verse or whatever it may be. Like, he's a good songwriter. Honestly, like, Gene is a good songwriter because of all the changes the band has had since from 1974 up until 2012. I mean, love it or hate it. I mean, going from this kind of stuff to the disco stuff to the funk, little bit of funk stuff thrown in there, to the solo record, to the glam and hair metal, to the post grunge stuff in the 90s. Like, yeah, some of it's shit, but like he at least he stayed consistent with his abilities. And I don't know. I think Gene. I think Gene is a little underrated. I think Gene is an underrated
hold on there, dude.
As a bass player.
It's easy when you're chasing mediocrity. They have never they have never done anything or tried to do anything except one time. They've never done anything that like made anybody think like, damn, you guys are actually good musicians. The one time they did it, it was like, wow. Now I understand why you don't do that.
Music from the Elder. The
music
worst
from the
record
Elder.
ever made.
So like, it's easy to think like, yeah, maybe he's a good bass player. They're good musicians when you're chasing mediocrity. When all you're like, when all you're trying to be is just like fucking C tier, B tier at best, then yeah, it's pretty easy to look good. But like, you know what I mean? Like, dude, mediocrity, man. Like nothing, in my opinion, no record that they've ever done is 2. Spoilers.
2 out of 3?
Yes. No record they've ever done is a 2. None.
So if people have never listened to this podcast, 3. So we have a 3-point rating system where 3 is a perfect album, 2 is a good album you're going to continue to listen to, 1 is a bad album, give it a shot, and 0 is the worst thing you've ever heard. So nothing is something you should ever hear. That's crazy.
No, nothing is you should ever like be listening to again. 1 is you hear it once and forget about it. 2 is I'm going to listen to it over and over and over. Nothing is a 2.
Nothing's there. We're getting close to the wrap up already. Jesus.
Because I just don't fucking care. I don't care, and I've said all the positive I could possibly say, and that's
okay.
That's the image.
Well, let's get into the few bangers that we have left, and then we'll wrap it up. Fuck it, who cares, right?
Yeah.
So what's your 3B?
Let me know.
Let me know, babe. Let me know, baby. That's not a banger for me.
That's not a banger for me. Okay, that's all right.
Let's get into it though.
I like it. It's easy riffage. It's got an easy swing to it. I like the bright guitar tone. It's fun, bouncy bass lines, and this solo is just straight rock and roll, man. Like I don't mind just good rock and roll. And like, you know, we shit talk AC/DC all the time.
Wait, you said "Let Me Know" or "Love"? Wait, what song did you say?
Let Me Know.
Oh, I thought you said, dude. I thought you said "Love Me, Baby" or something like that.
Love
wait,
me,
what
baby.
song? What song is that?
Okay, is that a Red Hot Chili Peppers song? Oh, Tell Me, Baby.
Oh, Tell Me, Baby. Yeah.
What's your story? I do like that song too, actually.
That is a good. It's a good. Pepper
Isn't that
song.
sort of like dude? Is that how that starts off?
Tell me, babe. Yeah.
Yeah,
it has that really cool. Yeah, that really cool noodly riff from Frusciante. Yeah.
Dude, if Stadium Arcadium cut out like
the second half of the record
of its record,
yeah,
it would be it would be like a perfect record.
Like honestly, you could cut out all of the second half of the record outside of Snow,
and especially
in Michigan, which are the only 2 good songs off of that second record, and throw them on the first one, then you'd have a great fucking Stadium Arcadium record.
So what happens to bands that are from like the 90s era is they think they can put out a box set and be over extravagant in how many songs they put on. But if you threw out a lot of the songs on Melancholy, and if you throw out all the songs on
No.
He puts his hand. What are you getting run over by a car?
Well, because I had beer in I hadn't swallowed the beer yet, so I wanted to make sure I got your attention. No. That's outrageous.
Melancholy's bloated.
Shut the fuck up. I mean, I would say I would give you if you said Autumn is bloated. Okay, I'll give you that.
Autumn's bloated,
but not Melancholy. Come on, guy.
Autumn is bloated with a Melancholy,
and I love Autumn. I do love Autumn.
I took my Autumn home from the store. Actually,
do you still have it?
We were trying to sell it. Nobody bought it. I was like, you know what? Fuck these guys. They don't want it. I'm taking it home.
I'm keeping this box set out of spite, strictly out of spite.
Fuck. It's good enough to keep, and it's good enough for another listen. I sometimes I'm just like, damn, dude, that's like half my Saturday. You know what I mean? Like listening to like,
come on, it's not that.
And I have Grateful Dead box sets that are fucking 7 discs, and it's like, dude, that's my Saturday. That's not half my Saturday. That's my Saturday.
It's only 3 LPs, or no, it's 4 LPs. 4 LPs.
Plus the singles. Obviously, I'm listening to the fucking 7 inches. It's silly.
Oh yeah, so technically it's 5.
That's
It's
half
like
my Saturday.
5 LPs, yeah. All right. So yeah, let me know. This was this song. It didn't make the banger list for me. This also came from. This was originally written for Wicked Lester, their first band prior to Kiss. But this is a very Rolling Stones type riff, and especially with that build up in the intro, this is just Rolling Stones. Nothing great, nothing special here.
Okay.
Right.
I mean, honestly, I think again, just because like David, my partner, he likes 60s garage rock. He likes 60s psychedelic shit a lot. And so he's always like, oh, listen to this, listen to this, listen to this, listen to this. So like I do listen to like a lot of it. I honestly think a lot of it just sounds the fucking same. I'm like, dude, this is boring to me. People love the band Love. I find it boring.
I don't get it, yeah.
The Kinks early stuff, fucking cool.
It's
fucking
fine.
Cool. But it's fine. Like Question Mark and Mysterians, 13th Floor, again, just it's fine. Left Bank, I think he's really cool. Renee's named after one of their songs. But I get what Kiss is trying to be. It's just not that because they're not fun.
Also, didn't David say that like you would really like the first couple Kiss records? Like what doesn't he like the first couple Kiss records?
He said he said listen to early Kiss. You should like some of the early ones. And for sure, like I did enjoy this a lot more than I thought I would, for sure. But I just think like if I'm going to listen to like garage rock, like it's just not this. It's not here. There's not enough here.
Yeah,
these guys aren't good at what they do. They're not. I can hear the inspirations, but I just don't. I don't care. Like why do I care? There's nothing here to make me care.
Okay, it's fair enough.
I don't care.
All right, so Let Me Know is your number 3, right?
That's it.
Let Me Know, right? Is that the name of the song?
Let Me Know.
Okay, so my number 3 is Kissin' Time. Kissin' Time, baby.
Dude.
What's your problem here?
Is this really a banger, or you just like this song? Or you like this concept?
It's kind of exciting, but also this song was not on the original pressing of the record. So the first pressing was, there were 100,000 made of the first record, or the first pressing. This song was not on it, but the record wasn't as successful as they were expecting. So 2 months after the record came out, the label's like, record this song. We'll do this like promotion, an actual literal kissing contest. We'll do this promotion, make this or record this song "Kissin' Time." We'll start putting this on the following pressing, and that's what they did. And they literally had a kissing contest. And this song is literally about going around to different cities and asking people to come out and kiss them and shit like that.
Kissing bitches.
Yeah, kissing bitches all over. So that's what the song is about. But the song is like it's fun, it's upbeat, it's kind of exciting, it's goofy as shit. Actually, and also there's some like really cool drum parts from Peter Criss on this one. There's some busy ass shit going on here, and the riff is really rock and roll. And I couldn't get over like Peter Criss's parts. Peter Criss,
fucking Chuck Berry, of course, is rock and roll.
But also Peter Criss's Peter Criss's drumming on this song is fantastic.
When you're covering a Chuck Berry song, it's easy to just like sound inherently rock and roll because the dude is a fucking.
He's rock and roll. I know.
He's a genius. So like yes, but this song sucks, dude. This is stupid. And like it's based off of a Bobby Rydell song, and that song's dumb because it was like a 16, 17-year-old boy, and the song was written by like 30, 40, 50-year-old men about Bobby going out and kissing young girls, and that's fucking weird, and that didn't age well. And really, it's Sweet 16, and it's Surfing USA, and it's every other fucking song that ever came out in like the 60s and late 50s. It's boring. Yeah. It's silly.
Okay, that's fine. I'm not saying it's great, but it's still made my banger list.
That's what I was asking. Like, if we're being honest, I have 2 true bangers, and I have 4 songs I think like that's pretty fucking good. That's what I'm asking. Like, is it a true banger for you?
I mean, I see what you mean. Like, true bangers would be Deuce and 100,000 Years. My 2, and then Kissin' Time is my 3. Love Theme from Kiss is my number 4, and then my number 5 is Cold Gin. This is the Ace Frehley song, the one that he wrote. I don't think it's the greatest, but it, within that the realm of this album, it's one of the better tracks. Gene sings on this song. It's a solid riff, fun build up in the intro, very AC/DC sounding kind of riff. Was AC/DC around at this time in '74? I don't remember. Did their first album come out in '76, or was it '72?
They were definitely around '74.
Hold on, AC/DC. Were they? I feel like maybe
for sure. Maybe not like their. No, they were definitely around '74.
They came out in '73. So
what was their first album though?
That's a good question, dude.
Almost TNT.
No, TNT was not their first record.
Really?
I don't think so.
I'm pretty sure TNT was their first record.
Maybe.
Damn,
as we're just perusing the internet here.
I'll just do it. Fucking goddamn it. AC/DC. Dude, I just type in AC/DC wiki on Google and they're done. Okay, first record, 1975.
Oh, so this predates it.
Jesus Christ. Like, why did it take you so long?
Because I had my... I don't want to get it. It doesn't matter. It's boring if I try
because I have fucking fingers that don't type fast.
I'm not going to try to explain. But
we took the same typing classes in school. Why are you so slow?
It's not the typing. It was how the windows are
all my 14 screens over here don't fucking do anything for me except do nothing. TNT is actually their second record from AC/DC, though.
What was the first one then?
It's called High Voltage.
Oh, High Voltage. Okay.
With which I don't. Any of these songs I don't really know. Oh, she's got. No, it's not the right one. No, I don't know any of these songs.
All right. Well, anyway, yeah, I hear a lot of AC/DC on here, and I guess this is before the AC/DC was even around. So whatever, it doesn't matter. Good Harms too on Cold Gin, and anyway, I don't know. I don't think it's the best song. Lyrically, it's very, very stupid as too. It's him just being too drunk to fuck, and then realizing or knowing that if he drinks some cold gin, that'll make him get a boner and he can go fuck. It's just like, come on, man.
Cold gin.
It's just stupid.
Drinkers. It's kind of fun because I just on the thing there it said that Rivers claimed that this was the first song he ever learned on the guitar, which makes sense because it's a fun song. Like the pacing of it is really fun. Like the pacing dynamics, it'd be a fun song to pick up on and perfect. Much like how we did that Get It Faster Jimmy World song, because like that pacing and that little breakdown bridge part is really fun to do. There's a lot of that here, and the leads / solo are easy to learn on this one. So that's kind of fun. That's
makes
cute.
Sense. Yeah,
makes sense.
All right. I mean, that's all I got for the bangers here. I mean, I feel like we did a decent job diving into this, especially for a couple guys that aren't Kiss fans. We didn't grow up on Kiss, but I feel like we did a good job. So let's give our final thoughts on this record. Rate it based off our world famous 3-point rating system, where 3 is a perfect album, 2 is a good album you're going to continue to listen to, 1 is a bad album, give it a shot, and 0 is the worst thing you've ever heard. So what do you got, Jeff? Go.
I get it. I get it, old guys, Desi and everybody else that are old and listening to this. I get why you like Kiss, but I'm not the biggest fan of the Beatles, right? And we've heard this before, whatever. But I get what the Beatles did for music. Kiss didn't do anything for music. Kiss did probably more than any other band in history for stage performances. But Kiss did nothing for music. This music is stupid. It's dumb. It's at best it's fine. That's good. At worst, it is hot garbage. They get a free pass, and they've gotten free passes and free passes and free passes, and they. Oh man, this band sucks, dude. I don't have a lot of nice things to say about this band.
That's fine. I mean,
it's a brand, and they marketed themselves very, very well, and it was just incessant touring, and it was putting on a good stage show, and that will go a long way. I will go see a band because people will say, dude, you got to see this band live. Their music sucks, but fuck, dude, you got to see that band live. I am more interested in that than I am in the music's so good. Animals as Leaders, right? And fucking what's the other band that's boring as fuck that you like?
Shut the fuck up.
What's the other guy? They're really good. I saw them live one time.
It was Animals as Leaders.
Was it? What's the other band that's kind of like Animals?
You saw them live.
With a P, maybe?
When you took Nick.
What's the other band that doesn't bother me?
Oh, no.
Prophecies or something like that, or the Lost Prophets or some shit like that.
No, I know who you're talking about. Oh shit.
That starts with a P though, right? Am I right with the P?
I think you're right.
Animals Leader. Like when I saw him live, I was like, my God, I can just listen to the fucking album. Like I can literally just stream this on Spotify.
They're so perfect live,
and there's nothing different about this performance, right? So there's like definitely two sides of that coin. And I'd rather see Kiss live than I would Animals as Leaders live, because I'm going to have more fun with the visual experience than I am with like the auditory experience. So I get why Kiss had served a purpose through the 80s, and it's just stupid. This music is stupid. This record is not very good. I don't think, outside of the Kiss persona, like no one's going to be talking about this in the way they will, like we've talked about with like 13 Floor Elevators or the Kinks or Question Mark or anybody of the other garage rock psychedelic bands from the 60s. This is a 1.5. This is a 1.5. It's cool. I'm glad I listened to it. I may come back to it every now and then.
So that makes it a 2. If you're going to go back to it, it makes it a 2.
No, because a 2 is like I'm going to go back to it like over and over, and like I maybe don't love it, but like this is enough for me to go back. When I go back to this, it's because like somebody trains in the promo copy. I'm like, let me just spin this one more time to make sure I don't want to just take this home. And that's it. It was a good listen. I'm happy we did it. I'm happy we did Kiss. They're better than Stained. I'll give them that.
That's true. Yeah.
I get this. My one sentence wrap up is they're better than Stained. 1.5.
All right. My final thoughts. Yes, musically, I think they're good.
Periphery.
Yes, there you go. Yes, that was the band that you saw. That's right. So Kiss, their music is good. I don't think it's breaking down any sort of. I don't think it's doing anything great. Fuck, I'm just repeating myself. Honestly,
I hate this band.
They're just fine. I am glad that we did Kiss, because I was looking forward to doing Kiss, because I've never taken a deep dive into them. And I saw on Billy Corgan's podcast, he had Gene Simmons on, and that's literally why I brought this up a couple weeks ago to do it, because Gene Simmons was on the podcast. I thought, fuck, we've never done Kiss, let's do it, and that's why we did it. It was Billy Corgan.
What's more boring than listening to like Kiss? Listening to a podcast by Billy Corgan talk about Kiss,
or talking to Gene Simmons. Yes,
that's something, dude.
That was I watched the whole hour.
That's dedication.
So yes, so that's honestly why we did it this week, because of that. That was the root of it all. But I'm glad we did it, because now you and I have we have a good base to like make fun of people, or when people bring up Kiss, it's like, well, they weren't really that great, and here is why. Like we can actually give evidence and back up our arguments, not just say like I don't know too much, or they're just dumb because their makeup. Now we have a reason why we don't really like them, but then we also appreciate why they were as popular as they were, because of their stage presence. What they were doing in the 70s was significant, and it was different, and it was loud and extravagant and dangerous in the 70s. But musically, they're just kind of mediocre, and that's okay. That's totally fine, but it's not something I'm ever going to go back to. I would never go back to this record unless somebody I know really wanted to listen to it, but I'm never going to go out of my way to listen to it. And I don't think anybody really needs to listen to any Kiss record, because so many bands have done every single one of these records better than them. But also live stage presence, performance wise, they're one of the greatest easily. And with this record, I will also give it a 1.5. I'll give it a 1.5 because it's not bad. Never go back to it. They good performances on the record, but they're not great songwriters. They're not great musicians. They're just good. I will keep my Kiss Alive record on vinyl, because honestly, those are great performances. I did listen to that record again this week.
It's keep a good record.
Yeah, I'll keep it because it's kind of the best of the first 3 records, but done like in a more exciting way.
It's loud. It's aggressive. It's fun.
I mean, yeah, it's heavily overdubbed, that live record, but it's fine. Who cares? I don't give a fuck.
Everybody did it.
Everybody fucking did it. Yeah, that's true. So yeah, 1.5 out of 3 for me with Kiss, and that's all I got. I think we've made it under an hour. This is the shortest episode we've ever done. think we've done it. So
I thought we were gonna do like 30 minutes, to be honest. Like this is just I don't fucking care about
don't
Kiss.
fucking care. Our rankings episode is longer than this one. So thank you all for listening. Go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Give us 5 stars. If you're watching on YouTube, smash that subscribe button. And that's all we have. We're going to get into some shit next week that we actually enjoy a lot. So thanks for listening. And that's it. That's all.
Philly Lord.
For the